What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and this Saturday is UFC 312, headlined by Drake Duplessis versus Sean Strickland 2, and we're going to talk about that fight tomorrow. But today we're going to be talking about the fights on the main card and just give my predictions and breakdowns for those fights. And with that being said, let's just get right into it. The first fight on the main card is going to be Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado, and then this one, I think that Jake Matthews is going to win by unanimous decision. I just feel like he's got a lot more experience than Francisco Prado, and Prado is very young in his MMA career, and just in general, I think he's like 21 or 22, and Jake Matthews has been around. He's gone through a lot of styles. He's experienced a lot in the UFC, and I just feel like he's going to be able to use that experience of just fighting those high-level fighters and shut down the game of Francisco Prado to a decision. And also, he's got the home court advantage, and I just feel like a bit more momentum on his side right now. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Jake Matthews. But moving on to the next fight, and that's going to be Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. And in this one, I'm going to go for Rodolfo Bellato. I feel like Jimmy Crute, I think his last win was like in 2020. He just hasn't been doing good at all recently. And Bellato is good. Like in his last fight, he looked pretty poor defensively. Like he was just walking forward like a Terminator, thinking he's got like a raw tank chin and just absorbing a bunch of shots, but he got dropped. And he was able to just absorb a bunch of shots until his opponent got tired. And he was putting a good pressure, but he wasn't really entering the pocket effectively, and he was getting punished for that. And we didn't get knocked on the pad by Vitor Petrino in the Contender Series, but he looked better in that fight. His defense actually looked good, even his offense. And I feel like he's got dangerous grappling too. Like he can submit you off his back. And yeah, I feel like Jimmy Crute, he's gonna struggle in this one. I don't think he's gonna do well. I think he's gonna lose again by stoppage in the second round via strikes. And yeah, I don't really see a path to victory. I mean, he could clip him, but I don't know. I feel like Jimmy Crute needs to get to a few like tune-up opponents. I feel like this is still a tough matchup for him, but he needs like some confidence builder, and I don't think this fight's gonna be it for him. And I think he's gonna get stopped in the second round. Then we've got Justin Tafa versus Teixeira, and in this one, I'm gonna go with Teixeira. I feel like Justin Tafa, like he's kind of a can crusher, to be honest. I feel like he's putting away, just these slow, out of shape, unathletic heavyweights that really should not be in the UFC. But yeah, and Teixeira, he's really good. He's 6'7" and he's got a long reach, and I think Tafa is like 6 foot tall. But Teixeira, he's one of those guys that really knows how to use his reach. He makes use of that very well. Like he's able to keep his opponents on the outside of that and avoid their shots and keep them there and work his way to a finish. He's very patient. He doesn't rush things. And when you fight Justin Tafa, when you try to get in quick or you kind of overreach, that's when you're going to be in trouble. But this guy doesn't do that. He stays technical. He keeps using that long reach very well. And I think he could even get a finish over Justin Tafa. I feel like Tafa isn't really that good. Yes, he is powerful, but he's not like the best in the world. And I think that Teixeira is going to show that there's levels. And I feel like he could honestly be a top 10 heavyweight. With the current state of the heavyweights, I think he's got a really good shot. And with that reach and that height, he's not like Stefan Struve out there who doesn't know how to use his reach. He's really good. And I think he's going to put Tafa away. I could see maybe an early second round finish or a late first round finish from by strikes. And then we got the co-main event, Zhang versus Tatiana Suarez. And, to be honest, I got to be honest. Like, I think at the end of 2025, or at the very start, at the end of 2024, or at the very start of 2025, I made a video saying, like, who I thought the champions by the end of 2025 were going to be. And one of those was Tatiana Suarez. But I think I was wrong. I think Zhang Weili is going to remain the strawweight champion. I think she's just too good. Like, rewatching her fights, like, Zhang Weili is just too good. And Tatiana Suarez is as well. Rewatching her fights, yes, she's good. But the problem with her is that she cannot just stay active. She's always, like, out for 2 years. Then she comes back, has one good year, and then she's out again. like there's no real momentum buildup. And now, like her last fight was in 2023 against Jessica Andrade, and she's coming back against Zhang Weili. Like I feel like that's just gonna be bad for her. And I think Weili's grappling has been improving. Yes, she's been grappling a lot offensively, but that also enhances your defense because you got to find ways to get around your opponent's defense. So you're going to know about that side of wrestling too. And on the feet, it's just a night and day difference. Weili is just so much better, much more powerful than Tatiana Suarez. Like Tatiana Suarez isn't like bad. She just is like very, very basic. She doesn't do anything great. She doesn't have any crazy attributes like speed, power, or explosiveness, or even like IQ when it comes to striking. But yeah, I think Weili is gonna be able to, handle her grappling really well. I mean, we saw what Weili did with Carla Esparza, and I know Carla Esparza isn't really the best, and she also got destroyed by Tatiana Suarez. But the way Weili was able to out grapple her, overpower her, and even get a submission over her is insane. And Weili, she did look a bit questionable in her last two fights because it did seem like she was slowing down. But I feel like in those fights, she was using a lot of grappling, and the striking was difficult too because, especially with Zhang, she's super well-rounded, but she is a really good striker, and she was managing her distance well, and she was able to get back up to the feet and then, do her thing too. And Weili, they used a lot of energy in the first round to try to get that finish, so she had to recover, but she was still able to complete those full 5 rounds. We haven't seen Tatiana Suarez do those full 5 rounds yet, and against, I think her name was Nina Anasarov or Nina Nunes, she was like doing good in the first 2 rounds, but in the third, she couldn't get her takedowns, and she didn't really look too good on the feet. She didn't look like a fish out of water, but she just didn't look good, and like she was missing quite a bit of strikes. And I feel like Weili is gonna stay sharp. She's got great Muay Thai. She's got great power. She was able to drop Amanda Lemos for a single punch, and I think she's gonna be able to drop Tatiana Suarez and actually finish her. I think she's gonna get a finish in the third round in this one by strikes. I feel like when it's like when Weili has a clear advantage on the feet, she does her best work. I mean, look at the Jessica Andrade fight or the Carla Esparza fight. I mean, she just looked great. But when she had someone who can match her on the field, like Rose or Joanna or Amanda Lemos or Zhang, she didn't look as great. But in this one, I think we're going to see a vintage Zhang Weili performance, and she's going to win this fight by a stoppage. And honestly, then at that point, there's no one really there for her in the strawweight division. I mean, who is there? Like, she already beat Zhang. Then there's Amanda Lemos, but that's not really interesting. I think she would destroy Mackenzie Dern. So I don't think there's anyone there for her in that weight class anymore. So I think Weili should look to take on the winner of Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot, which is the next title fight in the weight class above. But I think Weili could do well in that weight class too, honestly. And Tatiana Suarez, I don't think she's ever fought someone as strong or as powerful as Weili, someone that could really match her in terms of physical attributes. So yeah, I got Weili winning. Let me know your guys' predictions down below. Thank you guys for watching. God bless, and make sure you guys tune in tomorrow to see my prediction for Sean Strickland versus Drake Duplessis.